Good evening. It's wonderful to be back with you today, isn't it, Willie?
Indeed it is, Oliver. Tonight I shall be having a word with a man who goes in for meditation because he thinks it's better than sitting around. In other news,
The search for the man who terrorises nudist camps with a bacon slicer goes on. Architect of the Year and part-time messiah, David Ardill, had a tip-off this morning, but he hopes to be back at his drawing board tomorrow.
there was a fire in the Sheppard Robson Design Lab today, but it was put out before any serious good was done.
After a series of thefts from the stationery cupboard, facilities manager Quintin has announced that he's looking for a man with one eye. If he doesn't find him, he'll try with both.
It has also been revealed in a staff survey published today that Mark Dillon is doing the work of two men, Laurel and Hardy.
Now over to our reporter in the field, Jigetta Nickersoff, for a special report on a certain Stephanie McLeish.
It's 11th of January 2023. And we are standing in front of Sheppard Robson, one of the most famous architectural practices, where Stephanie McLeish started her career 10 years ago. Stephanie McLeish, one of the most celebrated artists, often compared to Michelangelo, Buonarroti, Leonardo da Vinci, Paolo Boccaccio, and many other great men. She has received many loads awards for her work. Just recently, she received one of the most prestigious prizes for this beautiful award, the Beach Hut of the Year. It's unbelievable that behind this design is just one person. We will be talking about this to experts from Sheppard Robson in a bit. It all started here. We are standing here with very men who used to work with Stephanie McLeish, Mr. Mike Great Ulrichs. What were your first impression?
My first oh God, it's a long time ago now, but I distinctly remember that lovely big white smile, that blonde hair, the rucksack on the back, and the old boomerang under the arm, and I thought, she's going to fit in here. She's going to fit it like Kangaroo Valley down there. We had loads of Australians then, because in those days, Australia, they hadn't got a lot of money over there, so they all came here, you see, to work. Like in the 70s as well.
Impressive.
And I was around then as well, so I'm quite old now.
May
But I look
ask,
good.
May I ask, sir, were there any sort of romance between you and Stephanie? I heard the rumours.
Oh well, we sort of kept it very low key, you know, because we didn't like talking about it. But yes, we did have a bit of a fling, you know. I was attracted to. She had a very good physique in those days before everything had dropped, you know, way down south. Because I believe she's, you know, had quite a bit of work done since then. And she looks practically exactly the same as she did when she worked at SR in 2012.
Right. And another question. Sir, did you feel the potential?
Oh yes, I definitely saw the potential in her when she walked in that door. But, you know, I never knew she was into architecture. I thought it was just a way of, before she remarried. Because she's had, is it 4 husbands now? And she's got 12 children and 36 grandchildren. And I thought that would take full time, but no, because she was a career woman. And you know, she wasn't there one day. I just went to a desk and there was a book. And it said, my future on it. I opened the book, and little drawings of little houses with chimneys and things like this, and I thought, I think she's into architecture.
How sweet.
And I was right.
How very sweet. Thank you, sir. It's been my great Oryx.
Thank you. It's a pleasure.
Thank you, sir. Action. We are sitting here with Mr. Mark Dillon, one of the top guys at Sheppard Robson. Sir, what were your first impressions about Stephanie? Was she extraordinary in her work?
Hugely extraordinary in her work. Her ability to deal with huge numbers of drawings being issued at 5:30 on a Friday night, and she never lost her cool, never got upset with the team, and never blocked up the printer, but managed to issue all the drawings that people have been sitting on for 3 or 4 days prior to her having to work late on Friday night to issue.
Interesting. Sir, can you tell us something about one of her latest designs? It's the most awarded masterpiece.
Well, it's obviously clear that it is a masterpiece, and obviously from some of Stephanie's other work we can see how fantastic her design ability is. Just before she left Sheppard Robson, she was on the verge of being made a design director, but she turned it down on the basis she felt she would be overqualified for the position down there in the design lab. But you can see she's gone on to great things back in Australia, where I can see most of these beach huts would fit in very well.
What do you think, back to this amazing masterpiece? What do you think about the genius detail, the little decorative wooden piece?
Well, obviously fantastic the way it all hangs together with just a couple of nails. I'm not sure it's totally had a review by the technical team with Bob Keenan downstairs and Peter Langley. They might have a few things to say, but all in all it looks as if it'll last another couple of 100 years to me, like most of the great masterpieces.
Thank you. This has been Mr. Mark Dillon.
Thank you.
We are standing here with Mr. Quentin Armstrong Barr, who used to be very boss for Stephanie McLeish at her first role as document controller. Sir, what was Stephanie like as a document controller?
Well, she was a bit average, but we did our best to keep her on. I always feel sorry for Australians.
Oh, interesting. And Little Bird told me that there was a little fling between you and Stephanie.
Well, where do I start? It was everybody. It was everybody, so I didn't want to feel left out.
Interesting. Okay, this has been Mr. Quentin Armstrong Barr. Thank you, sir.
No, thank you.
We are here with Andrew German, one of the partners at Sheppard Robson, who used to work with Stephanie. Sir, do you remember Stephanie?
I do.
And?
She was always smiley, tolerant, an architect.
What was it like working with her?
She always made it very clear if you weren't doing something she wanted you to do.
What does that mean? Can you be more specific?
She's very clear in her approach. Is that Stephanie McLeish or Stephanie Slade Rose McLeish?
Stephanie Slade McLeish.
Okay.
Rose. We have 2 designs here. What is your professional opinion?
Nasty.
Excuse me.
That's a nasty one, isn't it? It's a Louis Vuitton house. Oh.
Are you not a fan of her work?
I haven't seen her work. Is this some more work?
This is the beach hut.
This is the beach at
Voted one of the best buildings of the 21st century.
Is that right? Is that because she was a rowing coach and used to live in it? Or is
No,
it
I
because she
believe it
worked
was-
part-time in the T1 drugstore?
Excuse me?
That's bad, isn't it? What's really bad is Stephanie hasn't realised the reason why we employ Australians in this practice is so that there's an ongoing supply of violet crumble, and Stephanie has never brought in any violet crumble.
Do you have any other comments?
Bye.
Steph, and what do you want to do? Like more urban or education or yeah, community centers?
Yeah. Working with communities to get a better outcome. So, generally there's some concept that business communities, the housing that's provided doesn't really suit their needs.
The beach hut was my idea. It was meant to be my masterpiece, but she, Mrs. McLeish, she stole it from me. Ladra, thief. I was on the plane, business class, coming back from one of my set meetings, and there she was, this pretty and extremely friendly stewardess, minking down the aisle and flirting with me. She kept on pouring champagne into my glass and giving me those cheeky looks with her big saucy eyes. She kept on repeating, "Fancy some more?" with her sexy voice. Only after we landed, I realised that my chip got nicked. With all my drawings, it wasn't until later when I realised it was her. Clever girl. La ripagherai, Stephanie, la ripagherai.
Well, that was revealing. Special report on Stephanie McLeish. I've been Jega Panikuso for Channel 4 News.
And go.
And that was Jugetta Nikosov in the field.
I must say, Oliver, Stephanie is really at the top of her game, isn't she? What would you rate her out of 10?
Well, Willie, I'd definitely give her 1.
And now, it's a good night from me.
And it's good night from him.
We've been Willie Stroker.
And Oliver Closeoff.
You stay classy, Sheppard Robson.